What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate every single one of you guys for coming by. Now, in today's video, this is probably going to be a little bit more important of a video than I've made here in the past little while because a lot has happened this week. Obviously, with what's going on in the Ukraine and just in a global macroeconomic sense with inflation, there's been a lot of news, and so wanted to do a recap and catch everybody up, maybe bring some things to people's attention in case maybe you've missed something. This video is going to be a highlight of some major things that have happened this weekend. Also, too, there's been some news with some of our favorite top crypto altcoins / utility coins that are going to be ruling the future. Some Ripple news, HBAR, Alliance Block, Quant. There has been a lot of development and pushing. So without rambling on more about that, please don't forget to smash the like button or really just kindly click it, whatever you prefer to do. It definitely helps push these videos out. Obviously, everyone asks for that, but it really does help. I appreciate all of you for being able to do that. So let's just jump in. Obviously, the markets, it's right at the number of cryptos, right at 18,000. Right now, market cap 1.7 trillion. Market was doing good, and then it kind of came down. In case you don't know, obviously Russia's bombing a nuclear plant over there, so there's fears that there could be another Chernobyl, which would be really bad. That would be really bad, and so, the markets are responding. But overall, a lot of top analysts are calling for there to be potentially, finally, this alt season we keep all hearing about. That would be good. Smash the like button. Leave a comment if you're waiting still for this alt season to happen this year. I'm feeling good about 2022. But in particular, I have some news that I feel like is a direct connection between Ripple, HBAR, Alliance Block, and we're going to get into that. But let's kind of go further here because also this week, some major things happening that is very important for us to all pay attention to was Jerome Powell. And I'm going to play a couple clips here in case you missed this. This first clip is Jerome here discussing, he was being asked about inflation, and I'll just play it here, this small part.
It will not happen.
A few weeks ago when the CPI number came out, I was on my way to a breakfast meeting in Jackson, Tennessee, where I represented one of my constituents, and I, when we were talking about the new CPI number, he said, I don't care what the number is, because I know that I'm paying 50% more in gas than I did 12 and 18 months ago. I know I'm paying 20 to 25% more in grocery prices than I did a year ago. I know what the price of a new car and a used car is. If you were me, if you were a member of Congress, what would you tell your constituents about the rising cost, the expensive cost to just live today?
Inflation is too high. We understand that, and we're working on it. It's going to take some time, but we're going to get it back under control. By the way, we're seeing this everywhere in the world. We're seeing it more in the United States because our economy is stronger, but we're seeing it everywhere in the world.
Let me, if I can, follow up on a few questions that some of my colleagues asked about. Ranking Member McHenry asked you about the next meeting and your plans for the next Fed meeting, and I think you eloquently laid it out. But you also talked about the situation that's developed in Russia and Ukraine. My inference from your answer is that if Russia had not invaded Ukraine,
this guy's kind of rambling on, but essentially the major takeaways here is that inflation is going up, and honestly, guys, plan on there being a potentially transitory hyperinflation. How's that for a keyword? Transitory hyperinflation. How long that would be and how high it would actually get, who knows? The Fed's planning on raising rates by a quarter percent there, so that would be 25 basis points, right? Had to think there exactly what that would be after a long day. But let me play this clip as well because this is very important, and this mentions also, in case you missed it, Jerome Powell he's being asked here about crypto and war in the Ukraine and everything, and he actually goes on to say, I won't play this whole part of her question, but I wanted to play right here where he actually speaks about there being a potential to be multiple reserve currencies. Listen to
about our economy.
Well, we do benefit from being the reserve currency for the main reserve currency for the world, and that really is because we have open capital accounts and the rule of law, and we have inflation, over a long period of time under control so that the dollar preserves its value. And so our markets are the most liquid, and it's the place where people want to be. Over time, the question is, if some want to move away from the dollar, what will be the effect on us? I don't think it's something you would feel right away. Over time, they would have to create an economic ecosystem whereby another currency becomes, a better currency for them to use. What we can do is we can make the dollar the most attractive currency by continuing to have the rule of law and open capital accounts and make it an attractive place for people to invest and to use in their businesses. There wouldn't be any short-term effect of that. Over time, though, I suppose it would diminish our status as the reserve currency. It's also possible to have more than one large reserve currency, and there have been times when that was the case. And
bam, there you go. It would be possible to have multiple reserve currencies, and you can see here this graph here has just showed you how the global reserve currencies have changed over the past 500 years. There's been these cycles repeat themselves all the way from the Dutch Empire in the 1600s through the British Empire and the decline of the British Empire through their Victorian era all the way through the end, through their, when they had to basically ran out of money after the end of World War II, when the U.S. took over, when the Bretton Woods system was formed. That system is changing now, and our main utility assets that we are stacking here, they're involved in it. Now, moving along here, because again, I said I have some connections that I haven't really seen anybody else mention this. We're going to talk about some Ripple, Hedera, Alliance Block, Quant News. Now, this was released on LinkedIn today. This is from March 2nd. Universal DLT interoperability, now a practical reality. This was from the Hyperledger Foundation. And in case you don't know, they're the largest enterprise-grade blockchain in use throughout the world here. Now, this whole article, I'm not going to read the whole article. The main thing that I wanted to mention was, wanted to point out World Economic Forum. Anybody related to WEF, World Economic Forum, yes, let's not talking politics, right, wrong, good, wrong, evil, just strictly talking reality here. Anything the World Economic Forum is involved in, want to pay attention to because it's going to be part of, well, the New World Order. And that, again, is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just what is going to happen. It's a different way of living, different way of going about our paradigm of existence. So what this article is pointing out, and why I wanted to even bring it up here, is because it's talking about what the World Economic Forum identifies as the three main categories and how to approach interoperability. And I find that important because, man, if you are in the crypto space for any amount of time, you start to notice, right, well, the World Economic Forum, their name's popping up a lot of different places. A lot of you probably have really put the pieces together and started to, but right here you see the first category is cross-authentication, and how this is important to Quant, Alliance Block, and others. I'm going to paint more of a picture here in just a second, but let me show you this here. Cross-authentication, they're talking about that is one type of interoperability, and let me just make that known that there's different types. They're basically saying that this is a DLT relay. These are basically distributed ledger communication protocols that act as orchestration layers between other distributed ledgers. So these are designed for the exchange of different types of messages between these networks. These DLT relay examples are like Polkadot and Ethereum 2.0, which obviously Ethereum 2.0, that name, they're not even calling that anymore, and who knows when that'll actually come out. Now they're talking about the second type, which is oracles. These would be like what Chainlink is. Oracles are therefore using to connect to external data resources, which could be another distributed ledger. But these are third parties that are able to connect to different resources and perform various actions according to on-chain and off-chain predefined, bespoke, or custom rules. Some oracles not only pass info from an external data resource to smart contracts, but also send data from that distributed ledger back to the external resource. So there's usually a single oracle to perform each task. So that's the second type there. You see it just allows for multiple inputs. And then the third type the World Economic Forum categorizes is API Gateway. And interestingly enough, this is what Quant Network is. So Hyperledger here directly pointing out that connection and what Quant does and how this is a superior or the most superior type. And honestly, I don't know. Let me back that up. I don't want to say the most superior because there's a place for all these different types. And the thing is, they're all going to work together. Polkadot and Chainlink and Quant, they're all going to work together. They're all going to be around, you know? So this is just a different level, a different layer in type of interoperability. So that goes to show you that obviously we're moving into that multi-chain future. If anything, with rampant transitory or permanent hyperinflation, I want assets that are going to be allowing me to offset and stack and store my value. So you see, it's those types of ecosystems, though, we're going to need to have that interoperability to be able to march forward into that system. Now, XRP Power Service is growing. We saw earlier this week, we talked about it, the train glow enabling Ripple happening. That's huge. I don't think people realize how big that is, and having those new on-demand liquidity corridors and services coming online, this is just crazy. It says the pilot deployment was successful, 250 transactions worth $48 million processed in 100 days, and now the firm is now activating the Ripple ODL feature across all 25 payment corridors. This will allow for cross-border payments to be made using XRP as a bridge currency on TrainGlow across more than 100 countries. So people that say, oh, this isn't happening, this is happening right now. And if anything, this crisis in Ukraine has accelerated the adoption of the system. It's like almost behind the scenes, people are like, I don't know, changing things over. Now, I wanted to show you this here because this was an article, and I didn't see a lot of other people talking about this, really, if any. Shift and WorldPay. Now, this is a direct connection between Ripple, between Alliance Block, Hedera. I want to show you this here. Leading digital identity protocol Shift Network has announced a partnership with WorldPay, an industry-standard payment method developed by the world's biggest payment processor, FIS. The partnership will provide WorldPay with access to Federation nodes leveraged by Shift to deliver data attribution and verify transaction settlement. Also, WorldPay will be included in Shift's smart contract solution dubbed Veriscope. Now pay attention to this. The solution is supposedly designed to ensure travel rules and anti-money laundering compliance for financial institutions and virtual asset service provider. With the partnership in place, WorldPay becomes the second non-crypto establishment to join Shift's network. Early in February, Manchester-based law firm DLA Piper joined the network as its first Main Street partner. So check this out. Now, who are these partners with? Now, we know FIS is actually a partner of Ripple. Ripple partner FIS and the clearinghouse joined forces to bring real-time payments for U.S. banks. This was from September of 2020. So that's a massive partnership there. Already you can see that's who FIS is. So FIS is, you see, with Shift being this new partnership with WorldPay. Now, their second partner that they've had already is DLA Piper. Who is DLA Piper partnered with? Well, DLA Piper is a governing council member of Hedera. Hedera, you know, we see Hedera partnered with massive other companies around. And, well, where's the connection there? It's interesting to note because the Shift co-founder, Joseph Weinberg, said companies in partnership with the network are getting equipped for the next generation of payment. Weinberg stated that regulatory compliant data layers are a key tool in establishing payment security. Also, the co-founder added that it's about how we bridge the crypto world and the traditional world. Having institutions like DLA Piper or WorldPay being able to cross-verify these types of entities really helps establish on-chain trust in ways we've never seen before. So we got all these different multi-chains that need to interoperate between each other, and now we know that, well, the World Economic Forum and others are already looking at different types of interoperability for different types of assets. How do those systems have to work together? Well, obviously Quant's running it, but check this out. Why do we have to have other regulatory compliant ways for these money systems to work together, right? And so when they say like companies in partnership with the network are getting equipped, well, they know that by one partnership with one company is opening up those companies to all the other companies that those webs are connected to. So DLA Piper, we know, by them being a direct connection with FIS, the partner of Ripple. Now Ripple, it being the bridge currency, interoperating all these different types of central bank digital currencies. Now we have DLA Piper being connected to that payment system shift, DLA Piper being a direct connection and on the governing council of Hedera. Well, how are they able to bring in regulatory compliant data layers? Oh, well, who's another partner of Hedera? Alliance Block, building the future of finance, creating a protocol that will bridge decentralized finance and traditional finance. So we know that Hedera Alliance Block utilizes Hedera's token service to be able to be that bridge for decentralized finance and traditional finance. So all of these systems we see here, they really start to connect together as you start connecting the pieces. This is if anything right now, why this is so important is because as the market is, it's going up today and now it's going down, we just need to hang on. We need to hang on. We saw Raoul Pal had announced this week that we are in store for another major rally, and I see 2022 being a fantastic year. I look back where we were in March of 2021. We had, back at the time of meme coins popping off. A lot's changed in just 1 year, 12 months, guys. A lot's changed in 12 months. Now, speaking of Hedera, this week I happened to watch this marketing plan they had a couple of days ago, and the main takeaway from this, shout out to HBAR the Simpson here, he had said, basically just recapping it in a few beautiful sentences here, they're basically marketing plan for 2022, they're really ramping it up. $11.6 million budget is awesome, and that's fantastic news. And they're really, another takeaway that I got from that presentation, and it's too long for me to share in this video. You can go check it out and watch it if you want to. It's all over Twitter. Essentially, the takeaway, though, is that they're really ramping up, pushing out their partnerships to other, really ramping up lead generation, if nothing else. Lead generation is a huge focus. Getting that attention in GitHub, getting the attention of developers, pushing that out. They know that developers and getting developers to build on their platform is going to be what pulls in adoption. And we know the same thing. We see getting mass media appeal through music, through NFTs, is going to be what it takes to push HBAR. HBAR is a superior technology, we already know, and we've talked about Seeki and others being partnered with them. You see right here, they're giving away $1.5 million in HBAR. This is going to be what we need in order for HBAR to grow, and that's definitely on their radar, and that's what they're bringing. DeFi is definitely coming to the space. And wrapping up here, I found this on Casper Army. This is on Reddit throw I found a day ago. Casper Army co-founder Piotr Zubecki, I'm probably butchering that name, talks about NFT on Casper. I wanted to play this here before we wrap up. And it would help if the sound was actually on.
Casper Army. On the Casper, we're building an NFT project. We call it Casper Army. We start building this project 2 months ago, so we just now on the very early stage. Could you give us some advice about NFT trends in NFT and technology on the Casper network?
I believe that you are asking more about the technical side of this project. So you already started the project 2 months ago. So for NFTs at Casper, we already create the very base layer. So we have CP47 standard, which is like the implementation of Ethereum NFT standard on Casper. So basically this gives you the basic functionalities in terms of how to mint, how to burn, how to transfer your NFTs object. So it's up to you how you will use this technology. So I believe that your designers are working on beautiful graphics on the Casper Army ghosts. They will be unique. And then after you will upload this to space like IPFS or Filecoin, you will burn NFT out of them. And then the next steps is to talk to us, to check our documentation, to see how you can operate on these objects. So if you would like to give this to your community, this is like a simple way. So you need to create Web3 app that will be connected to one of the wallets, one of the signing tools, to make sure that you are authorizing these transactions and transferring the NFTs to the right party. In terms of payments, we need to see what are the possibilities to make it happen. So to transfer the NFTs basing on some tokens transfers in exchange. Yeah? So that could be done via using of native transfers. You can build your own smart contracts if you would like to have more complicated scenario behind that. But anything that you need, I think we have the possibilities to support you both by calling us, by talking us through our social media channels, or by just reading the documentations or how-tos that we prepared directly and especially for the NFT products.
Very cool. Very cool. So that's just an NFT platform there, talking about how easy it was to build on Casper. So that, I mean, this is what we need. I mean, it is as, you know, simple as that seems. You know, a little ghost here riding on a tank. I mean, hey, fitting for everything that's going on in the world today. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you watching here. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up at that. Again, hopefully all of you have had a great week. Don't forget, hit the like button. It really helps spread this video out to the YouTube algorithm. Appreciate each and every single one of you guys. 1,500 subscribers. Never thought it would I would be here. Gonna keep on pushing these out, and I'll see you in the next video.